Police looking for a man they believe is responsible for an armed robbery in Stacy.
Yeah, and get this, the thief got away on a snowmobile. Rob Olson live for us up in Stacy, just north of the metro. Rob, it sounds like police know who they're looking for, right?
Well, the sheriff here says they have a person in interest that they're looking for based on people they've talked to and evidence that they've collected. You know, here at Tim's in Stacy, it's not uncommon to see snowmobiles pull up to grab some gas or get something inside. So when a worker saw one idling out back last night, didn't think much of it until a few minutes later when that snowmobiler came inside with a gun. How did it strike you when you heard this?
Shocking. It's a small town. Everybody knows everybody, and everybody knows Tim's. We love Tim's.
It was 7:30 Monday night. A snowmobiler walks into Tim's country cupboard, points a revolver at the cashier, and hands him a plastic bag to empty the tills. Then takes off, racing westbound right down the street.
Getaway by snowmobile, pretty rare.
Real rare.
Even the sheriff says this is an odd crime.
We do a lot of things on snowmobiles and tractors up here, so.
Just not that very often.
Just not robberies, you don't see it too often.
But in an area with a lot of snowmobiles, it meant the people working in Tim's could give a really good description of a red late 90s sled with a really loud muffler. People know their snowmobiles
Yeah,
here.
people know their snowmobiles really well. Everybody up here has snowmobiles, so for them to have a getaway vehicle as a snowmobile, it's kind of odd.
And on a night when few were out, it meant investigators had a fresh track to follow for nearly a mile before it blended in, but they had a western direction. And by a stroke of luck, a deputy came across 3 people loading a matching sled on a trailer at a home in Anoka County. The sled and trailer came back stolen, and a search of that home turned up other evidence connected to the crime.
But no arrest made.
No arrest made.
What are you lacking to get an arrest here?
We do have somebody that we're trying to talk to.
Sheriff Duncan says none of those 3 people in that home appear to be their suspect, but they have a pretty good idea who is. Well, getaway by loud, identifiable snowmobile appears to be a pretty bad idea.
Snowmobiles aren't the most dependable getaway cars when you talk about snowmobiles. They're always breaking down and everything, so it's hardly ever used for robberies.
So, and that's what makes this stand out.
It does.
Now, Tim, the owner here, didn't want to go on camera today, still haunted by a murder 20 years ago. One of his cashiers gunned down during another armed robbery. So this is kind of tough for him. In this case, though, the cashier, a 20-year-old, he says is doing very well, but he gave him a couple of days off, though, just to kind of try to get over this. In Stacy, Rob Olson, Fox 9 News.